Have you ever wanted to add multiple five figures to your bottom line? Well, I have too, and so I spent some time trying to figure out what we could do in our e-commerce business to really bring this to life. I wanted to, one, find a way that I could use leverage in order to do that, and two, would require the least amount of time because let's be honest, you and me, we're always wearing several hats in the business, right? Now, in the past, I would say 8 to 9 months, we've been able to generate an extra $54,000 in revenue with only about $7,000, giving us about a 7x plus return on that investment. And this came by adding an additional 287 orders with only about a 6,500 SMS subscriber list. And it's become one of the most profitable channels for not only our brand, but for many other brands in 2025. But here's what's really crazy, right? Is this system, it mainly runs on autopilot. And I'm talking like maybe 10 minutes a week that it requires in maintenance. So there's no constant campaign management or creation. You don't need to worry about writing emails every day or hiring an additional customer service rep or hiring someone else to do this or that. It really is a smooth and simple way to add more revenue to your bottom line. And this year, we're going to be tracking towards hitting around $100,000 and improving our bottom line by close to 6 figures, which is pretty crazy. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to dive deep into this case study and break down how we've done it, showing you guys exactly the emails that we sent, the SMSs that we sent, and break down for you what all those looks like and how we did it on a month-by-month basis. Now, my intention here is to be able to give you insight into a little bit of how my brain was working, because as a founder myself, I built an 8-figure company with my brother. And so I have a little bit of an understanding of what works and how you always have other responsibilities to tend to, and you want something that's going to give you a high leverage on your time or even your employees' time. So let's dive into my screen. I'm going to break this down for you, and this is going to be a really exciting video. So make sure you stick around, and we'll get into some juicy stuff here in this video. So if you bring your attention over here, you'll see here that we basically generated around $50,000 of that revenue from cart recovery, which is a really cool thing because previously to, getting into e-commerce, right? Like, I feel like as a founder, there's so many things that you have to learn and develop in order to get really good and understanding how to build a business that's really successful in e-commerce, because, you've got marketing, you've got product, you've got running a team, leadership, your offer and your positioning and your product quality. Like, there's so many things you have to be thinking about, right? And this is one of those things where, like, I didn't even realize that I could use cart recovery in the confines of SMS. So when we turned this on, and it quite literally took, barely any time, and this has just been working on autopilot for us, I was like, wow, like, this is really, really powerful, and it enhances our customer experience. So the campaign side, I would say that still we're very much lacking on using our SMS effectively, but I show you this way because the truth is that this may be an underutilized platform for us still, but the results are still great. So I wanted to kind of be real with you guys and really show you behind the scenes of this, because we never do things perfectly in the business, right? We're always learning, we're always evolving, we're always adapting. So let's kind of break this down and look at like when we started here and what did that look like. So $4,659 came from campaigns, and we started doing this in about June of 2024. So, during this time, we really didn't know much about it. We wanted to set it up, see how it all worked. We basically set up this AI conversational thing where we fed it questions and FAQs to help with this AI bot that would basically communicate with our customers when they abandon checkout. So they would capture the customer at the checkout stage, and instead of just like email, right, and then abandon cart email, you can send an abandoned cart text message. And so there was certain things that we gave the conversational chat bot the ability to respond to our customers with based on our specific business. Like it's customized and personalized to like your business. So, when I started seeing some of these conversations come back, I was like, wow, like these are pretty good. Like, for the state that we're in and like, not having to have a human contact, like it's really, really good. And like, I never seen anything like before. So in the first month, and I don't even know if it was a full month, we generated just under $2,000 in sales, just on cart recovery from SMS. And our list at this point was probably only a few thousand, I would say. So pretty crazy. But at the time, we only just did the abandoned cart flow, and that was really something that was running on autopilot in the background. So this email or this month was pretty good. It was really eye-opening to see like what it's possible. So then month 2 comes around, July 2024. We were like, okay, let's test out this platform. Let's see what else we can do. Now at this moment, like our list is growing, right? So like we have a growing list of SMS subscribers from the abandoned cart and stuff, and also people just subscribing to our list in general. And we did $5,870 from the cart recovery and the campaigns. The first campaign that we ever sent live, and it was like, we didn't really know what we were doing with this SMS platform specifically. And we just thought we'd try it out and send something. And I think at this time, like being real with you, I think it was like a last minute decision. I don't know how organized and planned you guys are around certain times of the year, but for us, sometimes it can be a little bit of chaos, like trying to get marketing campaigns and, the team to coordinate all that stuff. So it doesn't always come together perfectly, but we've continued to improve upon that as we grow. But our first campaign, just to show you some like data here from this campaign, we sent about 3,168 people. We had about a 2.15% reply rate. We generated around $153 at a 2.43x return on our investment. So even though it wasn't a ton of revenue, we still got a return. That was our first one with about a list of 3,000. And this was kind of the template that we sent. This is a pretty basic template. What's really cool is that with the platform, you can kind of like, there's proven templates that are built in where you can just kind of customize things to your liking. So we kind of used it started with a template. Just says, hey, first name, our SMS, only 4th of July sales live, get 15% off with code 15July4 at checkout, ends, 4/7, save here, right? So then we just put the URL we want them to go to, and it was as simple as that. It really wasn't like a whole lot, going on with this message, right? And it still generated some extra income. So, we're going to be breaking down every single campaign here so you can see like what was actually done. And we've got some really, really much higher revenue generating campaigns below that I'm excited to show you guys too. So, month 2 using this thing, I mean, maybe it was like 6 weeks, this is the first full month. We were like, wow, like this was adding like a lot to our bottom line without really any input, because like with the cart recovery, it's a flow, right? So it's a trigger. So every person that adds something to cart, it's going to trigger the cart recovery sequence through SMS. So really, really cool. So then we move on to August 2024, and we generated $7,485 in cart recovery. Absolutely insane. I don't know what the ratio was in terms of our revenue to this cart recovery sequence, but it was quite significant. And we were like really starting to feel that we're utilizing this the right way. So we only had the abandoned cart flow that month. And again, like there's so many things going on. We maybe had a planned campaign that month, but we also don't want to like bombard our customers too much with SMS. You kind of want to play it safe because SMS has a pretty high open rate. So we wanted to be careful there, but I don't know if it was that or we just didn't have time for a campaign, but we still did, $7,500, which is crazy. Then moving on to September of 2024, we dropped a little bit in our cart recovery revenue. We did about $4,701.02. And, it wasn't too bad, I'd say, still pretty good, about $5,000. And, I'll be kind of showing you guys a few different examples throughout this video, but this is kind of an example of what this conversation looked like with our, our AI assistant, Lindsay, who was, working in behalf of Gamenetics. And so, basically says, hey, Jose, this is Lindy with Gamenetics. I saw you were checking out our custom controller. Great choice. Want me to see if I can get you a discount? And then, he says, yes, please. And then Lindsay replies, awesome. I just made you a discount for 10% off. It's game of 10. Just make sure you apply to checkout and get your discount. Smiley face with a link to the checkout, right? Thank you. Lindsay says, no problem. And then have a beautiful day. So it's really cool to see like how little things like that can like push someone over the edge to purchase, that may have not have purchased before. So again, this is all autopilot. Like this is not Lindsay at Gamenetics. Like we did not hire her. Like she's just running on autopilot. So it's pretty cool. All right, so let's move down to the next month, which was October. Actually didn't update this. This should be 2,261.44. So this month was a little bit lower again as well. And at this time, like moving into Q4, I'm not sure if we kind of like had sent or had cleaned our SMS list, or maybe there just wasn't a whole lot of purchases happening in October because people were waiting for Black Friday. That could have been some of the reason. But we did see a bit of a dip in October, but still, a couple of grand with really, no work. We didn't even send any campaigns that month. Not too bad. So then we start moving into the end of the year where things really start happening. Can you believe it? We didn't send any campaigns for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is, should be considered a sin in the e-commerce world. Forgive me. But we generated around $6,857, which is pretty solid, I would say, for November. And again, this is all running on autopilot. I know I keep saying that, but it just continues to blow my mind that this was just running for us and we weren't even using it before. If we weren't using something like this, we would have just generated $0 from this. So yeah, that was the abandoned cart flow only. But then we move into December, right? That's really where things start to really blow up. So in this case, we actually sent 2 campaigns this month, and we had abandoned cart flow nearly did 10 grand in sales, which is absolutely insane, and we did around $2,440 in campaigns. So let's have a look at the campaigns here for a second. So there's 2 campaigns that we sent this month. So we actually did have a last call Cyber Monday campaign that did spill over into December. So at the time, you can actually see our list here, 5,279. So just from the time that we sent our first campaign, we had 3,000 subscribers. We almost doubled our list. Gained about 2,000 subscribers in this time. So pretty cool that our list was growing as well. And we generated around $2,000 from this email, or this SMS, sorry, which is crazy, with a 12.22x return on investment, which is insane. So yeah, very, very successful campaign. And the other campaign, which was the holiday sale, which was at the end of December, we sent on the 28th. We sent to 5,642, so we gained another 300 subscribers or so. We did about $452 to 2.5x return on investment. Now, what those messages look like, this was the first one. This was for Cyber Monday. So we basically said, final hours at 50% off, spin the wheel for your last chance at a huge Cyber Monday savings. Sale of the year ends tonight, don't miss out. And then link the website. So that was the one email that we did I don't mean to say email. The SMS that we did was $2,000. And then the other one was the end of the year, which was VIP holiday savings, our last call of extra 5% off on all controls and accessories. Discount expires December 31st. Don't miss out with code New Year 5. Grab yours today, or grab yours. So, these are the 2, SMS, nothing too complex, pretty simple, highlighting, just the sale and whatnot. And that month we did just over 12 grand. So, I want to highlight something here too. I guess I'll also review this message I skipped over in November. Is during December we did about 154 grand this month. You can see that in November the previous month we did a lot more. This particular year, 2024, we did actually a lot less revenue than we did in 2023, just because we had a lot of logistical issues because our products are pretty custom. So the previous year we did just over double this. We did about 350,000. So I couldn't imagine if we were doing already 12,000 here at 154. I mean, it's almost 10% of our total sales for the month. Then we could have done 25 grand with this same setup in 2023. So pretty crazy, to realize that could make up that much of your revenue. So if you're not doing this, if you don't have an SMS cart recovery, you could be losing out on tens of thousands of dollars. Just like we were, the previous year. So, compared to say, something earlier on or later on, which I think I'll get to, I'll show you kind of the comparison of what sales we were doing afterwards. But yeah, let's review this message here. This is another message that came through. This is just another example for you guys, but hey, it's Lindsay from Gamenetics. I saw you were checking out our Chrome Gold Black PS5 Pro controller. Great choice. Want me to see if you can get you a discount? You can reply, it's stopped, opt out for your text. Sure, I'm just waiting for my wife to get off work so I can discuss pricing, right? Awesome. I just made you discount go for 10% off, right? So this guy actually ended up going out and purchasing after he talked to his wife, I guess, which is pretty cool. So, there's different ways these have conversations, right? And yeah, so that's December. So then we're tracking into the beginning of 2025. January, we ended up doing $4,337 in cart recovery. with around $49.32. So, I didn't update this number here, but it's going to be somewhere around $4,387 or something like that, that we did with one campaign. So not too bad. But the $49 obviously wasn't great. I think this was actually a spillover, like late attribution from the campaign above, because I think there was no campaign when I looked. There wasn't actually a campaign that we sent. So it was actually a campaign from the previous month that we spilled over that $49. And then another message that came through, or another conversation that's happening, is the cart recovery is, hey Kelly, this is Lindsay from Gamenetics. I saw you were checking out Black PS5 controller, mouse click triggers and bumpers. Great choice. Want to see if I can get you a discount. I said, sure. I like for you to send me a discount for the controller. Awesome. I just made a discount for you, 10% off. Thank you for the discount. Have a great day. No problem. The all fixed controller that previously purchased from your company. And then, then we said, we have a 30-day return exchange policy. Please check out FAQ page for more info. So like, again, this is an example where like the conversational AI is communicating, but there's certain questions that may not be able to be answered exactly, and they refer to the FAQs page, which would give them more insight on, do we fix different controllers from another company. So that's kind of a cool little element there too. So then we move into February. We send another campaign live. We do about $2,963 in February. And we send one campaign. We want to do $1,000 in revenue on this campaign. This is a Valentine's Day campaign. And the Valentine's Day campaign, we had a list of about 5,900. So we obviously had a little bit less subscribers than above. A lot of times, like when you send these, like people will opt out. Like it's just kind of normal for that to happen. So this definitely would have happened during this time. And we hit a 5.2 ROI on our investment. So what that means is like whatever you spend to send the texts and whatever you return in terms of revenue, that's what that ROI is showing, like your return on how much you spend. So I like that it actually factors in, because a lot of platforms don't. About $1,000 in revenue. And this was the message that went out. Grab the perfect gamer's gift for this V-Day. Grab an extra 5% off store-wide and secure the goods for that someone special. Click here to shop now. So, you guys are literally seeing the exact messages that we sent to generate these thousands of dollars. So this is, if you want to take notes, you want to apply them into your business, like just take notes from what we're doing here. And, again, like this is, we try to keep them pretty simple when we send out these messages. All right. So let's look at March now. March, we did around $834.05. And this particular one here, we didn't send any campaigns out either. March, cart recovery is pretty low, and there's a good reason for that, which I'll get to in April. But another message from March is, just something simple, right? It's saying, hey, we saw you check this product out. And, again, I'm sure you're noticing it's saying the specific product that person's checking out. And then they said, sure. And then awesome. Here's the code. That person then purchased. And you're able to see that too. You're able to see what conversations converted, what conversations are awaiting a reply from the customer, things like that. Discount code sent, all statuses. Then we moved to April. We did around $1,308.53. No campaign sent. Again, lacking with my campaigns, right? We definitely need to send more campaigns. But the point is to illustrate is that we're not perfect either, and that you don't need to be perfect with this in order to make a lot of money. I feel like there's a lot of things out there where, especially in e-commerce, where you're trying to learn something, you're trying to make more money for your business. And a lot of people kind of like make it seem better than it actually is. And so, in this, I just want to be real with you guys and show you like, hey, like, we're not perfect at this, but we still added a lot of revenue to the business, which makes it more realistic for you guys to be able to achieve too. So, in this stage, like we're doing around 44,000 a month right now in April. So, you can see like there's a direct reflection of what we do abandoned cart flow compared to say a month where we do 150, and also the time of year, as you guys know. But even, back in August of this, 2024, I don't have revenue numbers, but like a lot of it times it's in direct reflection to kind of what you're doing in revenue per month, right? It has some correlation. So April was a little lower. And then in May, we sent one campaign and we did about $2,876 this month. And a conversation that we had over here So, hey Liam, Lindsay from Gamenetics, saw you checked out our creamsicle PS5 controller. Great choice. Want me to see if I can get you a discount? Yes, please. Awesome. Here's a discount. Thank you very much. No problem, right? Good conversation to have. And then this was the email that we sent. Went out to 6,400 people, had a 2.4% reply rate, $1,000 in revenue at a 4.92 ROI. This campaign, this SMS here was a little bit more specific to a particular modification that was new in the market. So we kind of, customized a little bit that way. So we now have Hall effect and TMR joysticks that make your movement more precise and drift free forever. Tap the I for more info on the builder. Never buy a new controller again. Add yours now to the custom controller, and then link to the builder, right? So for us, like, that was a very specific thing for our brand, and like that was a new feature, a new thing that we were launching. So, for example, if you are offering now rush processing, right, where you charge an additional fee, like you could put out a message about that specific thing, right? If you have a new product or a new feature or a new thing that you add to a particular category of your products, like you can send out a message announcing that, right? So there's lots of things that you can do to use SMS for as well. So that was a pretty good, message. And, really guys, like all of this stuff that we just went over, these are actual numbers. These are transparent, showing you behind the scenes of like all the campaigns and the messages and what we did. And, this has honestly been really, really good for us. It's been a huge, huge save on time, and it's just been printing us money. Like that's really all I got to say about it. So if you guys want to look into it, it's called TxtCart. They do like a 14-day free trial. So like when we started it, we just signed up. It's 14 days for free, and we didn't even have to put a credit card or anything. You get about $1,000 in text credits, and we made money within the first 1 to 2 weeks, which I'm pretty sure they guarantee that ROI. So it's pretty crazy. Definitely recommend going and checking it out, just seeing how it goes, because it definitely paid off for us. So excited to hear how this goes for you guys as well. We'll definitely be doing more videos like breaking this down, but if you guys enjoy this video, please subscribe. We got lots more content coming around. I'm going to be talking about how to scale your e-commerce company, things I've learned building an e-commerce company as an 8-figure founder, and just hopefully sharing some things with you to help you grow your business, because that's really at the end of the day what we're here for. And we're trying to stay on the cutting edge of just implementing AI and conversational SMS into your strategy. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.